Hi there everyone, and a warm welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. My name is Emily. Today we're at Faversham and we're going to drive through to Rochester on this RHTT train with train. I believe it's 3 Sierra 75 Tunbridge Yard to Tunbridge Yard. Quick little bit of setup to do, so I'm going to run down the back and start basically. So it seems that when you top and tail these, the rear loco just goes a bit mental, like this. Obviously that's not supposed to happen, and it actually had different headlights on the last time. So what I want to do is turn those lights off, those lights on, and then and yeah, so I've got the tail lamps on and I want to get rid of my headlights because the train has obviously done arrived now. So what I'll do is off that, and that then sets my headlights up correctly. So the whole tail lamps thing, I know on new 66s, well newer, you do it from the panel there for the cab that you're in. But I think this was an issue with the reference material Dovetail had. From what I've heard Matt Ped say, why has that happened? From what I've heard Matt Ped say, the sorry, I'm just wondering about doing stuff. From what I've heard Matt Ped say, basically the reference they had was for the first like 100 or so 66s. Don't mind if I do. And I think they were done on an might not even be like, it's like just like the first, maybe the first like 15, you know. And yeah, that's what's then caused the issues. We'll stow the Buckeye coupler as well because I mean we're not using it. I may climb down at the track and do the same for this one here. That one's stowed, good. So we are due away at 10:40. We've got a minute until that service starts. That's fine. And I'm going to climb up into the cab and turn my tail lamps off. Yep. 10:38 off blocks. So we'll knock the tail lamps off. Knock the tail lamps to day ahead. And then check the front of the train. That's now set up correctly. I'll stow that Buckeye coupler. Like I said, we don't use the Buckeyes with these, you know, these are chain link couples. I mean, it's... Emily! So, tail lamp off, definitely off, good. Sit down, actually I'm going to shut that door to get the noise level down in here. And there we go. So, reverser is in. We're due off at 10:40. We've not got a clock in the cab, so we'll just... So this is a difficult one to do without the hood. So this is obviously the remote control for the rear head treatment train. The rear head treatment train controls. Normally this is controlled by a separate operator. So the driver just drives and an operator actually operates the special machinery on the back. So this is set up now. We'll release our brakes to go to 4 bar on the application. Because obviously we've got quite a steep one there. We just don't need that much brake. So you'll see pretty rapidly that brake should start to release. No, it's just applying now. Fascinating. So I've not got my brake control. Let's check my brake cut out. Brake cut in, please. That now gives me brake controls. So there is a bit of weirdness going on with the brake cut controls on these basically, because I didn't have to, when I'm re-recording this video, I'll be blunt, frank and honest, I misclicked and uncoupled on the move and it completely broke the train. I shouldn't have to do that, that's weird. Anyway, so we'll activate this, power on, engine start, and I can now turn on my blasters, and you'll see not both of them trigger at once, it's only one. There you go, so you got it there. That is the effect that it creates basically. I think That's just a reflection you can see of it on the rail there. It's not actually doing anything. It doesn't do anything other than just, you know, do a cool effect. But yeah. So we'll move away and we'll talk a bit more once we're off. Head out the window. And that tail lamp's triggered back on again. Going my train to a stand and resolve that issue. So what I'm going to do is reverse it to neutral. I've literally looked down my train. I can see the tail lamps are on that loco. I'm going to check my footage because I swear I've turned them off and the engine's just messing with me at this point. Headlight setup in this cab. That is off. Tail lamps off. Yeah, I'm being messed with because yeah. When I've taken over the service, it's changed my loco setup. That's what's happened. So I'll then go tail lamps on, and what I'll do is brake cut out. Brakes are cut out on this loco, which is correct. Yeah, I saw it as we were moving away, and I was like, that shouldn't be blasting. Well, it's not. So this isn't blasting. It's just applying sandite. I do apologise for not turning that off. I just panicked, I think. It just means there's a little puddle of sandite, which probably does the exact opposite of creating adhesion, but oh well. What I'll do is I'll just turn the water pressure off, which will turn the two blasters off. So, reverser goes forward. Where we go. You can see there's a 66 heading off that. I think that's another RHTT treatment train circuit with its tail lamps done wrong. That's code it. I've not noticed that one yet. So where we go. Green light remains green. Head in the cab. No one's trying to hang on to the train. Don't know when my brakes haven't fully released. Let go of the brakes. Away we go. So we get up to 15, and then we coast for a little while. And then, but to us, now that we're on the move, I am going to just put these back on. So we're not actually blasting. So these trains are capable of doing two things. They're capable of blasting, which is high pressure water onto the rail, and that then removes leaf buildup. And the other one is sandite application. So sandite is a compound. Well, it's not a compound. It's a mixture, which is basically a load of water, sand, and like aggregates. So they tend to use like iron shot and stuff. Seems a bit aggressive in my opinion, but I guess it'll just be really fine. And what that does is that just improves adhesion on a cold or icy rail. So once we clear this crossover, our line speed does increase to 60. Should be about as we go past this little hut here. There we go. Power on, and let's go. Now, one thing I did miss is unisolating my DSD. There we go. And knocking off my cab light. Turn the instrument lights on just for good measure there. So yeah, overall I enjoy these. Like, I'm glad it's come to the game. I do kind of wish they'd gone for the actual like blasting version, because I mean, yeah, you can see the effect from here, but you've got these big clouds of water coming off, you know, when you're blasting to get rid of. Got a bit of slip there. You know, you've got these big clouds of water spray coming up, and it's a lot more sort of thought out than sanditing is. You know, sanditing, yeah, okay, you're thinking where you're putting it, but like you don't have to turn it off to go through a station, or you know, stuff like that. Whereas RHTT, you know, you got to turn this off going over points, which I didn't do. Lol. But yeah. So yeah, we're just going to build that speed up nicely up to 60. which is the maximum speed we can sort of apply the sandite at. I think the KFAs are rated for 75 mph running. So unfortunately, yeah. So overall, the artwork, it's just the standard 66 that comes with SEHS with a heavily weathered livery on it. So bits of feedback on this, you normally tend to find people will wipe around like this here, and the numbers. And the numbers there, so you know which train it is basically. You can hear the generators running to power the pumps, which are applying. I'm going straight under the thing there. So, yeah, the tanks themselves look pretty spot on, to be honest. Again, nicely weathered, which I like. Yeah, overall, I appreciate it. So the main issues I have so far are the way that the setup is, that you have to literally go and redo all the lights on the train before you can move away. And like I say, just the little bits like, you know, the 66124, that would be like wiped clean, so you could see which train number it was quite easily from distance. And like I say, I think it's not an issue, but I just think it would have been better if you had the actual water blasting option. Lastly, tutorials. The tutorial for this, that's come out with it, is the default Class 66 tutorial. So it teaches you how to drive the train, but it does not mention this panel at all. I had to go on YouTube to figure out that was the button down the side there, and that's a poor show if I'm entirely honest. I'm going far too fast because I'm not paying attention, I'm chatting. So I'll pour on the brake now, just, yeah. Get 60 in the window. 375, give it a wave. By the way, if you at home do not wave, I'm offended, I do. Drivers do actually look to see if the other driver waved, because waving is like a universal indication of, like, the line ahead's clear, basically, like, you know, oh, what when I went through. So give a blast on the horn as we roll through Keynsham. So yeah, there's stuff to talk about today. So, I realised I'm a freaking amazing drainage engineer. But you didn't think I was going to say that, right? So what I did is, there's been an issue with the drains at the back of the house, and basically the way my landlord's got everything plumbed, like all the showers and sinks and stuff, all go into the drain from the like the rainwater. And yeah, and it got blocked, and I unblocked it because my landlord has taken close to a week to try and respond to it. And I was like, I just want a shower, you know, without the water flooding back over my feet, and it's gross. We don't get like dirty water coming back up, but your water doesn't flow away. And I fixed it, and I was proud of myself. I just had like a 45-minute shower shaving my legs and stuff, which is probably part of the problem. Not gonna lie, but yeah, felt really good to actually just get that done. And I know you didn't want to hear that, but yeah, it's the small wins for me at the moment. It's the small wins, and that's a small win. Apart from that, I went down to York with one of my friends, bought some railway stuff, bought some models, which I'm probably going to have to build that for a video actually. Because I went in because 2 ambers, so I'm not going to accelerate beyond this at the moment. So 2 ambers, sitting born coming up, so quite close for them to be ambering us. But yeah, like I was saying, sorry, went to with one of my friends. We went to Monk Bar model shop, and we were going in, and she said, "Oh, you know, because we're both air cadets. That's one of the things I talked her into doing, and I still feel bad about it actually." But we went in, and she said, "Oh, I never got my Spitfire back from like modelling in cadets." I was like, "I'll buy you one," as, you know, as a joke. Like, and I was like, "I will buy one," because it was like 11 quid for one of the starter kits from Airfix. And in the end, like, instead of letting me, like, she was like, no. So, like, she was like, letting me buy her like an £11 model. She ended up spending like £30 or £40 on a Viking longboat that she didn't really want. But I was like, you better build this, and she is. So yeah. And I bought a Hornet because I actually, in all seriousness, there is a logic. There is a method in the madness. Single amber, red ahead. Okay, I'm gonna just take us down to about 30 because I'm a bit paranoid, if I'm honest. Nah, I think that train was in the station. It's leaving the station. Yeah, you can see him leaving there. That's a red ahead, so I'm going to just brake a bit more and a bit more until we are nearly at a stand, rolling at like 20. Giving a blast on the horn. Oh, I think we're being held for that 66. Oh, cool. I'll apply to a stand, and then so you got some MFA wagons over there, which I've so I've got some like mods to darken the textures and stuff, because those wagons are just absolutely trashed at this point. We're on a green aspect, powering on, and there we go. And we've got a GBRF 66 on the other side. So we'll give a wave to our rail freight friend. Hello. He shunts with his frickin' tail lamp on the front of his train, but we don't talk about that. He does what he needs to do. And we skip Sittingbourne. I am actually going to be revisiting this route in a couple of weeks to do the full run from Gravesend through to Ramsgate on a 395. I've modified one of the scenarios that comes with the route to some pretty amazing extents. So next point that we're going to be held at is Gillingham, because basically I think we're following a semi-fast. So yeah, well, I know we're following a semi-fast, so I pull out before I start the video. But yeah, so we'll get held for him on the approach to Gillingham, and then we go through Gillingham, and then we, like I say, we hand over in Rochester. And 55 power off. The reason I'm doing that is, yes, it's a little bit slower, but we know there's a train in front of us. We know we're going to get checked down for it because we know he's got to stop, and we don't. So, you know, there's no point us racing to, you know, pile in behind him when, like I say, you know, we know he's going to stop. So, yeah, that's the logic today. But apart from that, so there's this modeler hairbrush, which is like, it's a tangle teaser, but it's an actual like brush, like paddle brush, and it is so nice on my hair. And I bought one when I was on a lodge in Edinburgh with Lumo, literally just over a year ago now. Actually, about a year ago, and it died recently, and I was so sad because it was literally my favourite brush. Like, it was expensive. It was like £5.50, but it was a really good brush. Like, yeah. And I found it in Sainsbury's at the station, and I went back in today because I was nearby, because I got a too good to go pack, mystery bag from Costa's. So I went over and they had 3 of them left, and I was like, mine. So I've got like 2 years supplies, and then I'll just cry because I want more. And there aren't any more. So yeah, I don't know why I let the speed cut go down that much. I'm going to go back on power. Hard on the power. Let's go. If that red line's it, I'll be sad. I like the sound of 66 working hard. Thing is, we're top and tailing. They're both powering. This is as fast as you can make a 66 go on this. So that is actually, that's a minor point, I guess. The other 66 shouldn't be working. And this is something I would quite like to see properly implemented within TSW, sorry, is the ability to not have them working multiple. Because even when you, for example, on T's value line, when you have the 31 layer, where the 31 substitutes in, and you have the 31 towing a 2-car 101. Going a bit quick. So when you have 31 towing a 2-car 101, the 101 is still actually got its engine running in theory, but it's not powering because there's no fuel in it. But with this, you need the ability to run back and forwards, and only use one engine. So it would be good to have that as an option. Wait for the 375. Yeah, I'm just talking about wishes here, though. Of course, Dovetail do not listen to me. We've proved that. They don't. Well, they used to, but they don't anymore. It's all very tragic. Makes me very sad. But hey, one of those things. You can't change them. You can't. No, that doesn't work. Ignore me. I'm shutting up now. That is all. No, I was going for a Muppet song. You can't live with them. You can't live without them. There's something irresistible. I'm not drunk, I promise. I'm literally not. I've just, too much Monster, I think. But so what have I done today? Like I say, I went out, did some shopping. I still need to actually do a lot of tidying in the room because I'm back at work tomorrow after a week of not going in. I just wasn't well enough. I'll be blunt, frank and honest. And I'm glad I've had the time. The time has really helped actually. And it just, it means I feel a lot less awful. Let's say that much. Ironically, I'm currently, as we speak, rescheduling a video to put this one in its place. And that video was uploaded to YouTube on the break, or it was recorded on the 8th of June. It's been rescheduled twice, and it's now going to go live at the end of November. Not saying it takes you a while to get content out the door, guys. No, not the 8th of June, the 8th of August. But still, pretty bad. Just going to put notch 3 in, just keep us rolling basically. We're on proceed aspects. We're laying down our cargo. That lead loco is way thrashing the trailing one, I think. I have also, this is Raynham. I also increased the cab space since we're on a freight loco. Yellow line, mate, get behind it. Those passengers, they just had a death wish. I'll say that much about them. Had a death wish. So, this means we're at 3 miles from Rochester. So I'm just going to coast for now. 3 miles is 3 minutes. Like I say, I think we've slowed down enough at the start there to let them up past, get away from us, build some space. But I know we'll get checked down probably at Rochester and Chatham. And if not, sorry, at Gillingham, Chatham and Rochester, because basically he stops at all 3. Don't think there are any trains which actually skip any of those stations that go through them. If I look at Chatham on real-time trains, this is obviously current timetable. I know this doesn't use current, but still, it's and then we do passes only, and it's all. Oh, there is one which is a Victoria to Folkestone West, but that's a That's a charter. I think that's the Pullman path. Yeah. Diesel loco towing 455 tons and advertised express. And then the return of that, which skips. And then, like I said, there's a couple of empty stock moves that do it, but nothing at all like in service skips these stations. Rochester. Same news really. And then Gillingham will be exactly the same. So that will be our double, Amber. Gillingham Kent is exactly the same again. That has absolutely no passenger trains that skip it except for, so there's one path which will be a dining train, which leaves Victoria at 10 to 7. Gets to Canterbury West for 22:10. So we've got a green aspect, green ahead, keeping our line speed in play. I think that would have been a warning for the 60. So the fact actually that we've not been checked down is really good. That means we've got a clear run through the station. We need to be at 30 miles an hour at the end of Rochester Station. 35, correction. So I'll start braking probably at the end of the CS here. Yeah, it's got 35, I'd say it's at the end of the platforms though. So Gillingham EMU depot on the left hand side there. Now the home of the class 707s. The city memes. Under this signal, I'll put my brake on. There we go. So you can see the brake pipes now going at the brake cylinder, and we're doing it. Go over the 375, dude, and down to 35. Off the throttle, off the brake. Sorry. Focusing ahead of us. That's the line off of Chatham Docks. That's Gillingham Loco siding on the right hand side. Again, back in the day of like Chatham Docks being a major import-export hub, you'd actually see like a line of 47s on there, waiting for the next job. That's the old like crew lodging like accommodations there, like train crew accommodation. I mean, we slowed down a little early, but your 35 is right there. But you know what I say? It's always better to be slowed down early than it is to be slowed down late. So to be honest, I lost track of if the last signal we passed was a precautionary aspect, but the AWS sunflower is not illuminated. That tells me it isn't, and I can see a green aspect in the tunnel. And this is the this Gillingham tunnel. You come out on at Luton Arches and Chatham, and then you go through Chatham and into Rochester. So as soon as you come out here, you start going downhill, and we just want to be aware of that. So I'm just going to put a jab of brake on, and yeah, bit of brake, get us out maybe 30, then let it coast back up, and then back down to 30 again for the 30 limit, rounding the curve at Chatham Station. Chatham. And we go, popping out into the light. Green signal. Like I say, you can see that speed picking up already. Getting that brake on nice and fast. Luton Arches. That is a depressingly accurate representation. It's, yeah, Chatham just trying to get nice, but it just isn't. I lived in Rochester, but I lived close enough to Chatham to be in that, like, doom and gloom of Chatham. It is really strange, actually, like, Rochester High Street and Chatham High Street are basically the same road, and they're like a mile apart, and they couldn't be more different. 30. So a little bit slow at 25, but the green aspect, I was just prepared to be checked down, to be totally honest. I think I've slowed down more than I thought, and I didn't get a lot of space on me, which is good. Up to 30 coast. jab a brake just so we don't accelerate too much. Coasting down. Keeping a good look out ahead for the PTI, platform train interface, making sure no one's trying to hurt themselves. 395, hello. I always like, you literally see me waving to the passengers, like, move away from the platform, but yeah. 2 ambers, so that means we're going to get checked before we arrive into... We're going to get checked before we arrive into Rochester itself. You notice the signs there for bid stack, that is going to be actual adverts in there. Which, to be honest, I agree to, because I think it's going to be really cool, add a layer of realism. And Dovetail makes a bit more money out of it, hopefully. Which should totally add up towards, like, train, like, you know, cheaper DLC and stuff. I'm not sure how much they're going to make, if I'm bluntly honest. So, single amber, well, red ahead. So I'm just going to fix my hair. Double ambers, actually. So it's fine, that means we're cleared into Rochester Station. So what I'll do is probably approaching, well, So because I'm going to be bringing the train that will stand within Rochester to hand over, I need to disable my blasters before I slow down. This is why I have an operator to do it, because, like, crew resource management and stuff. What time is it? We've got, oh, we're really early, actually. So I'm just going to put an application of brake on. I think I let the train get away from me a little there. Yeah, so now that we're slowing down, I'm just going to disable water pressure, disable sandite, and disable that. Down to 20, coast. Stopping at the end, so let's go down to 10. Like I say, it's just, you know, you'll probably find they'll send a mom to come and actually sandite these. Like they'll take a line block and someone will walk down with like a hand applicator. Yeah, there we go. So, welcome to Rochester. Overall, my thoughts on this train, it's actually really cool. I've really enjoyed this drive over. It does take a little bit of practice when you head just to get lined up, but yeah, it's really enjoyable. I really hope they have more on-track plan. You know, yellow trains are really cool. Even like measuring trains and stuff. The next thing I really want to see is layers. So I want to see this layer into other modern Image UK routes, Great Western Express, all that kind of good stuff. We'll stop down the end, pretend this tracksuits guy is our relief. So, I'll secure the train by taking a full service brake application, and then remove my handle, which drops the brake on fully. I can leave my headlights as is. That's powered on, but it's obviously not blasting. So we can leave the train now and step out and let one of our colleagues take over. Alright, so thank you very much for watching today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did. Like I say, overall my thoughts on this are, it's pretty cool. I've train spotted from there, by the way. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. Like I say, we've basically driven from Faversham, Tainham, I think I'll call it Tainham, all the way into Rochester and dumped it here. And one of our colleagues will take it on towards London, Victoria, sort of this way. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.